Hey guys and girls, this is kind of an unusual Sunday afternoon chat because we shot this earlier today, right after church, shot it down by the lake, and that didn't work. So everybody then took off and went hunting. So here I am out here with Lightning, and we're getting ready to head out to the deer stand, and it's already too late. It's 5 minutes till 4. We really only got like an hour and a half to hunt, but it's going to be the prime hour and a half. We tried to sight some rifles in this afternoon, did a pretty lousy job of that, honestly. But we just had a great week. We're looking forward for another great week this past week. Monday, we spent most of Monday shooting stuff for YouTube and for Jimmy Houston Outdoors Television. You know, this next year we'll be on the Discovery Channel beginning in January for the first 2 quarters. We'll be on CBS Sports. We'll be on WFN. We'll be on the Pursuit Network. And third quarter we'll be on WGN with our hunting show, Jimmy Houston Adventures. So we're planning a great big year for Jimmy Houston Outdoors. It'll be our 43rd year on national television, 43rd year. Tuesday we went over to Lake Texoma, had a great time at Lake Texoma. We went over there to try to catch some bass on crankbaits. I took my American Original baits over there, my RC square bills and all those crankbaits, and going to try to do a crankbait show because it's kind of perfect time of the year to do it. Went to Buncombe Creek and we caught a few bass, but we mostly caught white bass and stripers. We caught a lot of those, had a great day. We'll show you some of that action probably on either Wednesday or Friday this coming week. Tuesday was a great day. Incredibly spectacular weather. I mean, just as pretty as it can be. People fishing everywhere. I mean, most people were striper fishing. Did see a few bass fishermen. Ran into one guy at the boat ramp. He's a striper guide there, and I forgot his name. He told me his name and I forgot it. And I should have got a card from him because I'd like to go over there maybe this spring and go crappie fishing with him. He'd only been out a couple, 2 or 3 hours. They caught an entire, like a Orion ice chest full of big crappie. I mean, some of them were like 1 3/4 pounds. Really nice crappie. I mean, whew, I looked at those. All I could see was fillets laying in that ice chest. But anyway, we had a good time over there. I think that he might be a friend of my buddy over there, Chris Carey, my striper guide buddy that I go striper fishing with on Texoma. So hopefully we'll get over to Texoma and do a crappie show maybe come this spring. Got a pretty heavy slate in December, so we probably won't get to be able to get over there in December. But we are headed back to the deer stand. I got grandkids here all week long, kids and grandkids. I got my grandkids will be here in and out, but pretty much all week. Lightning and I went out yesterday, opening day of Oklahoma gun season. We saw some smaller bucks, passed all of those up. We don't really kill anything here unless it's really, really big. And but we had about a 4.5-year-old buck that came out behind the doe, was walking down a levee, walking right at us, and Lightning had his bolt up on his rifle, and so he couldn't, he's full of it. I finally got around there and closed his bolt up in front of him, but I think the deer must have seen our hands moving. And it stopped. He was behind the doe. The doe stopped her foot. And I told him, I said, get ready. The deer was coming right on at us. And I said, you get ready because when they're not going to come any closer. He's only about 80 yards. So when he turned sideways, shoot. All of a sudden, he turned sideways, perfect. I said, shoot. And I looked down, he wasn't even looking through the scope. By the time he looked through the scope, it was too late, and the deer went over the levee and got away. But, you know, that's deer hunting. It's only Lightning's 2nd year to hunt. He killed a couple of bucks and a couple of does last year. His first deer he killed was a doe. So he's a little bit of an experienced hunter. But if he'd had his scope on that, you know, my belief in deer hunting is, I know if you're bow hunting or gun hunting, either one, let them get as close as you possibly can. I mean, I know you can hit them out there easy with a bow at 40 and 50, 60 yards, but goodness, if he's coming, if he gets 30 or 20 or 15 or 10, the closer the better. The closer the better. But anyway, that deer got away. We're going to go back and sit in that same stand this evening and see what we can do. Might be able to get that same deer back. I don't know. Stormy and Sherry, they're out in the stand. My grandson Kyle, he's out in the stand with his bow. My granddaughter Jordan, she's out in the stand with her bow. She saw a couple shooters last night, and but she had her bow. They weren't in bow range, and she was really excited about it. She's going back to that same spot. Kyle just got here, so this will be his first evening to get the bow hunt here. But we got a nice fun week planned this coming week, all week long. I had one really challenging day this last week. Thursday night, Chris said, you know, the water pressure is really low. You might ought to go down and check that. at the pumps. And so I was getting ready for bed, so I'm totally naked. And so I put on a pair of hunting coveralls, you know, like a cold weather suit, and a pair of boots, no socks, no nothing, just nothing in between me and God but that cold weather jumpsuit. And I started out. Chris said, "You're not going to put any clothes on?" So I got clothes on. And she said, "Well, what if you fall and get hurt and we have to go to the hospital?" But, you know, when they take you to the hospital, when you go to the hospital, they take all your clothes off of you anyway. Don't make any difference. They get you naked anyway, and then they're going to put one of them little blue gowns on you that slid all the way up the back so people can, no privacy. There's no privacy at all in the hospital. So you see everything. So what difference does it make? But anyway, I went down there, and sure enough, the beavers had chewed on one of my pipes, and it was broken, so I had to turn the electricity off. And Apache came down early the next morning, and we got after trying to fix that. And we needed about 3 or 4 feet of black high-pressure pipe. And Chris went to Sulphur, couldn't find it. Went to Davis, couldn't find it. Finally had to go to Ardmore, and the guy said, "Well, if you only needed about a foot, I'd just cut you some off." And tell the next guy bought it, it's a 100-foot roll, and that's the only way we sell it. And so he said, "But since you need, I wanted to get 6 foot, I needed 3 or 4, so I get a little extra." And so I told her, I said, "Well," so she had to buy a 100-foot roll. So we bought a 100 foot to get 6 foot. So that's kind of the way we do things. But anyway, we worked all day long on that. The first time we fixed it, our coupler broke loose, where we spliced the two water pipes together, and that came loose. And so we had to start all over and redo the whole thing, just smashed them back together. We put 2 hose clamps on each side instead of 1. We got it good and tight, and we got it done, and got insulation around that and everything. And so we had water about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. We worked all day long on that, and it was challenging. I got to tell you, though, I'm real proud of myself. Not a single bad word crossed my mind. Not a single one, even in some of those frustrating times. But that's just life. That's just have to do things like that sometimes. But anyway, that's what happened on Friday. So other than that, we've had a really great week. We had a great week planned this week, and this is Thanksgiving. Our preacher preached about Thanksgiving this morning, and this is the last Sunday in November. By the way, you know how many days November has? November has 30 days. I learned back when I was probably about 3 or 4 years old or 5 years old, this little poem, how to tell how many days we're in a month, because there are some months that only have 30. Most of them have 31. And so I asked my grandson, Lightning, I said, "How many days does November have?" He said, "I don't know. 31? I said, "No." I said, "Remember that little poem you learned?" He said, "I don't know any poem about how many days a month has." And I said, "You mean you didn't learn that? Nobody taught you that?" And he said, "No, I don't know that. I didn't learn that at all." And I said, "Well, I learned that when I was like 4 or 5 years old, probably. Man, I can't believe you don't know that." I'm gonna stop right here if we're trying to wrap this up, because we're getting kind of close to where we got about another quarter mile to go where we're going to be hunting. But I told him, I said, "Listen, Lightning, you got to memorize this." We're sitting in church. Church hadn't started yet. Now we're hadn't started before church. Most people are trying to teach their kids scriptures. I'm trying to teach Lightning how many days a month's got in it. And I said, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except February. That's got 28. Or next year I'll have 29. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. Teach your kids that. You kids that are watching, if you don't know that, learn that little deal. There'll be many times in your life where you're going to need to know that, how many days a month's got in it. Well, you'll need to know it a lot. So that's a good little rhyme to remember. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except February. Anyway, I taught that to Lightning. But anyhow, one other thing I want to end with here. This is Thanksgiving week, and I got to tell you. Let's turn my mule off real quick. One thing I got to tell you about Thanksgiving. Here's our preacher preached on Thanksgiving. He talked about the best way to give thanks to God is to pray, and when you're praying, giving thanks to God when you're praying. And one thing I've been thinking about the last 2 or 3 days, thinking about Thanksgiving, is because I got a few comments, and people said, "Why don't you get everybody, when they comment on your Sunday afternoon chat about Thanksgiving, get them to write down some things that they're thankful for?" And so I thought, that's a good idea. I like that. So here's what I'd like, but we'll take that to another level. Take that to another level will be helpful to you. Here's what I'd like to do. when you get up in the morning, you start today, practicing today, think of 3 things that you're thankful for. It might be your family, your health, you're saved, your job, whatever. 3 things that you're thankful for. You might be thankful for your pets. You might be thankful for your health. And think of 3 things you're thankful for, and say a little prayer right there, just between you and God. You don't have to say the prayer out loud. You can just you're right in here. Say the prayer to God and tell Him that thank you for that, because those things that you're thankful for are blessings from God. That's what they are. So thank Him for some 3 things you're thankful for. And you don't have to write those down. Just when you get up in the morning, Monday morning, think of 3 things that you're thankful for and thank God for them right then. And do it again Tuesday and Wednesday. Do it all week long. And you can write them down if you want. I'm big in writing stuff down, but it doesn't matter whether you write them down or not. And it could be the same 3 things every day. I don't know. But most of you can be thankful for 30 things or 300 things or 30,000 things. I don't know. We are coming on Thanksgiving week. And listen to me, America is so blessed. Our people in America that are homeless will have a better Thanksgiving meal than almost anybody in the world. Almost anybody in the entire world. Because there'll be Thanksgiving dinners for homeless people and people that can't afford, not even homeless people necessarily, but people that can't afford a good Thanksgiving meal. We have them in Oklahoma City, Tulsa. We've got one down here that a friend of mine, Ron Gillahan's, having down here locally at an event center. Anybody can come. People that don't have a Thanksgiving, he's paying for all of it himself. He's a great man, deacon in our church, and good friend. And but there'll be Thanksgiving meals for people that can't afford a Thanksgiving meal. They will eat better. And my point is, we are so blessed in this country. Most of us will have more food than we could ever think about eating. We'll eat more than we even ought to dream about eating. We are so blessed. So God is smiling on this country. And one of the reasons He's smiling on this country, I think about that because we got a lot of things that are wrong. Most of them are in Washington, D.C., not all over the United States. But we got a lot of things that are wrong with this country. But one of the reasons why God blesses America so much, I believe, is that we send more missionaries out around the world than any other country in the world. We send more missionaries all over the world to share the gospel of Christ. And so I think for that reason, we've put a little smile on God's heart. And, Chris told me years ago, coined that phrase, that puts a smile on my heart. And I like that. I like that a lot. That's one of the things we try to do with our YouTube channel is we want to put a little smile on your heart occasionally. But I thought sometimes when she says put the smile on her heart, I thought she was talking about me. She probably wasn't most of the time. But anyway, I thought that was good. But just think about if you can put a smile on God's heart. And you do that by thanking Him. You do it by thanking Him when you talk to Him. And you talk to Him in prayer. We call that a prayer. It's a prayer. If you're just out here in the woods like I do a lot and talk to God, that's a prayer. But instead of all the time asking God to solve your problems, although He will, thank Him for what He's doing in your life. Thank Him. And so every time you get up this week, kind of think of 3 things that you're thankful for and thank God for them right there. And I guarantee you're going to put a smile on His heart. And we've got about 25,000 people on this YouTube channel and 280,000 on Facebook. Just think if all of you can put a smile. Well, we only have about 10% of you really, that 15 or 20, depends on the video, that watch the video. But just a couple, 2,000 or 3,000 of you put a smile on God's heart. I think it's going to make God feel real good. And so anyway, that's my Sunday afternoon chat about Thanksgiving. It's going to be another great week. We're really looking forward to it. We got cars coming by out there on the on the road, and I hope they're not road hunting here, but around my high fence. But they're all moving. They're all moving, that's for sure. But anyway, y'all go out there, have a great week this week. Remember, we'll have our Catch of the Day devotional tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. We're going to do that every Monday until the end of the year. Beginning January 1, 2020, we'll do it every single day. Somebody that you really like, share that with them. Tell them to get subscribed to this channel so they can listen to that daily devotional every morning before they start their day. It'll make them have a better day. They'll start out with God's Word, a devotional, which will probably have some fish stories in it, and a fishing tip for every single day. At the end of 2020, going to be a better person, going to be closer to God, and they're going to be a better fisherman. So hey guys and girls, share this with everybody you know. Take care and have a great week. I love you.